Drop the volume on it slightly, could you?
Yep.
Drop the volume on it slightly, could you? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Invictus Racing League realistic performance on this Thursday night on the Xbox. I am your co-host here tonight, Don the Noodle. Alongside me is the new co-host, or is the new host, sorry, of FXL realistic performance, not F1XL, IRL realistic performance on Xbox. Papa Goose, Andrew. How are you, my friend?
I am doing very good, Dom. How are you doing on this fine evening?
Oh, tired, mate. Tired. Couple of 100% races here, couple of 100% races there. Time trials for leagues here and there. You know, normal.
I can imagine. It's very difficult on your body. So, hi guys, I'm Andrew, and let's get into the racing. So, obviously, we are racing around the bloody iconic track of Monza today. Fantastic track, temple of speed. What else can you say? It's just an absolutely fantastic track to watch and to also race around. Let's just get down onto the team lineups for today. First up, we have the pit stop boys of IRL Mats 21 and Jamie 29X. We also have Hotshot Racing with DJ Danny and Fairmoto. We also have Shark Nipples F1 with James F1 etc. and Sir Sharks. We then have Only Fools and Horsepower with Light Shock 16 and Don Crouchy. Then we have W7 with Stallion W7 and Raza 410. We then go down to Viper Motorsports, Botched Gerbil and the Josh 32. We then go down to Brabham Racing, ACO Akel and St Johnston 02. We go then to Wales F1 with Tom 1802 and M Watson 4236. We then have Pain in the Rain with Kingley Diagram 19 and DMG Sully. We have Coconut Water F1 with Ice Cream 05, and standing in for today we have El Senado as the reserve driver. We also have drivers making their IRL debut today of M Watson 4236, who's going to be driving in the Realistic Performance League today for the first time. So everybody give him a big warm welcome to the league. He's going to hopefully do the most fantastic racing for us today. Isn't that right, Dom?
Oh, that is right. New drivers are always a one to watch, so I'll be keeping an eye on him tonight for sure. And like you said, El Senado, who didn't have the greatest evening on Tuesday night, but he's stepping in the realistic division, so, you know, hats off to him. It's not an easy division. You've got a lot of fast drivers taking a lot of fast cars here, and so yeah, those two are two to watch out for sure.
I reckon it's going to be a fantastic race today. After seeing what happened on Tuesday with the rain and how close the racing was, even up to the line, I hope that we see that today in Italy. It's going to be a really, really fantastic race. So I'm just going to give you guys a Drivers' Championship update on the points of the top 5. So in 5th position right now we have Sir Sharks. In 4th we have Light Shock 16. In 3rd we have IRL Mats 21. In 2nd we have the Josh 32. And in 1st place we have DJ Danny of Hotshot Racing, who's sitting there. And might I say, they're only separated from 1st to 5th with only 16 points. So that's going to be really, really good to watch for today.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey.
So this is a different way of doing it. Last week we didn't have the qualifying. This week we do, so it'll be nice to see who qualifies where in their car. I've just had confirmation from Mr. Fairmoto, one of the drivers here today, in what I believe looks like an AlphaTauri. He is saying it is dry in both sessions. This one's got a bit of overcast, so I can see the soft tyres coming out here and making the most of the fact that they will not be melting. However, after seeing that Mercedes of M. Watson come out of the garage, I've just seen 2 black tyre marks, so 50-50 here. So we've got a
Okay,
lot of
so
drivers starting their outlaps here, actually, come to think of it. I think I've seen about 6, 7, maybe 8 cars start out of the pits, and I've got BMG Sully in a Ferrari dropping out, as well as his teammate too, so almost all of the cars getting out for that track evolution here tonight.
it's going to be a fantastic race. We're on board right now with M. Watson, who is taking his very first realistic performance race today, and he is now going up towards Lesmo 1. Just going to hit that braking zone now. He should be able to take it reasonably in gear, not so much flat. Obviously he is running soft tyres, so he's going to be trying to gain a little bit of heat in these tyres coming out on his outlap, hopefully so he can pull in a nice tasty lap time coming around on that second lap. Coming up to Ascari now, he is going to take a nice soft line through there, not too aggressive, just making sure that his tyres don't necessarily go onto the AstroTurf too much, as it might end up spinning his car out when the tyres are a little bit too cold. So coming up now, he's going to come round Parabolica. He's going to try and avoid touching the Astro as much as possible here. He's going to go back down onto the start-finish straight, down past the Fosse, and on to start his lap. Just going to go up a little bit to watch James F1 in the Alfa Romeo just quickly. We're going to keep an eye on a couple of the drivers who are already out on the track, and we'll see what actually happens here. Is he's going to come down into the very first part of what would be considered the technical part of the track. He is slowing down a bit. I'm guessing he's waiting for M. Watson, who's going past him now. This would be nice to watch from behind, see what he's going to do coming round Lesmo 1. So Dom, what are you seeing on your end of the field? Who are you watching at the moment?
So I'm watching someone who I'm very close to. I race in several different leagues with him, and I've got to know him really well over the past few months. Lightshock16, who is in the Williams and seems to be posting a very skittish first lap time. Back end seems to be all over the place, but hopefully when race time comes, you know, the sun will come out and he'll find a bit more traction on those soft tyres.
Hopefully, I mean, from what I can see right now, all the drivers are trying to just sliver their way around the track, not necessarily pushing the car to its limits, but generally just trying to find a nice groove in the racetrack so that they can get the rubber down into the track. There we go, first time placed down, a 1:19 by Kingly Diagram 18, who is sitting there, nice, I would say, reasonable time. I mean, that's in real life about 1 second off of what is considered what was the fastest lap set by Kimi Räikkönen in 2018. So this should be a very, very nice quali session. We're actually going to go up and see if we're going to manage to get one of the other drivers. So we're up to Iktom now, who's going down into Parabolica. A very, very strong start in that Red Bull. We know how strong the Red Bull is when it comes to downforce, so he's going to take it completely flat, down at the start-finish straight, past the Fosse, and across the line in a 1:20.437. So that is a very, very strong benchmark. As you can see, all the drivers being very, very close there. He's clipped over the top of the red bollard there. It's going to cause a little bit of floor damage to his car, I'm sure.
Yeah, I better than anyone know the downforce capabilities of that massive long-time fan. Been absolutely loving them since they entered the sport. So definitely not their best track at Monza. You know, 10 plus speed, something they don't really have over other cars. The Honda engine isn't the fastest on the grid. You do have the Mercedes engine and the Renault engine, which are faster. However, that Honda engine does have a lot more in terms of reliability than other engines. So, I mean, if this was a full season, you'd see them getting to this stage and not really having to replace that many components in underneath the bonnet.
that is perfect. I wouldn't have explained that any more frequently in that sense. The Red Bull, very, very strong in reliability, except from their engine from last year being what was the thing that let them down. We're now on board with actually the other Red Bull driver, Don Crouchy, who's actually just gone off the track. He just spun it out there coming off the first corner. And it looks like he's got a little bit of front wing damage. He's going to try and pull out again. Maybe try and see if he can pull it back to the pits. I'm not sure if he'd maybe just lost it on the upshift or if he just put his foot down a little too much there, but that was a bit of a strange place to run off the track.
By the looks of it, I mean, he's on the yellow tyre. It's slower, it's got less grip, it's... You know, track evolution is a big part of this game. He's gone out really early on them, and if he's planning on posting a lap time on them, you're probably looking at waiting until the 3-minute mark to start your out lap, for sure. And then it's one of those things that if you're coming out that late, even if you're coming out with like a minute and 30 left, you really have to give it all, and then just hope and pray know what's coming up behind you, so that you can just give it everything for 2 laps. And if people are coming up behind you, you've just really got to pick up the pace.
Yeah, I've heard that the mediums are specifically quite difficult to heat up, especially around tracks like Monza, where it seems to be very leaning on the left all the time around the track, which to a lot of the cars, like the Haas, were struggling a lot in the last year's season to be able to gain any sort of heat in their tyres whatsoever. So when you see someone in the Red Bull, for example, with the mediums go off, it is quite a strange sight to be seen. I'm just going to explain the tyre allocations that we have for this race. We have the C4s, which are the red softs. We have the mediums, which are the C3, the yellow tyre, as we were just talking about. And we also have the white tyre, which are the hard C2s. And they'll be allocated throughout the race. It looks like we could be in for a one-stop race today, as early tests conclude that it could actually be done on a soft compound or a medium compound start. Now watching Watson now coming down into T1. Nice far wide entry into that corner. He did run over the red lip there, which might affect his lap time quite significantly coming down here towards the very first part of the technical track. Kingly Diagram still at the top of the leaderboard right now with a 1:19.423, which is a very, very strong start, but only separated by 1/100th of a second here by ACO Oakhill, who is sitting at a 1:19.517. So they're definitely going to be looking to try and push on the last 9 minutes of quali.
Yeah.
Down to Ascari now, where we're going to watch M. Watson. Very, very skittish there coming round. He's not trying to hit the AstroTurf there. He's just being very cautious. He must have some past experience with hitting the very slippy surface that is the green AstroTurf of Monza.
Yes.
Now he's coming round Parabolica, touching the lip, and we're going to see him finish the lap.
Yeah, so obviously you've got 3 different types of green on this track. You've got the grass, you've got the AstroTurf, and then you've got like more of a rubbery stiff. It's the same sort of stuff that the sort of rumble strips are made out of. And I've just watched Stallion lose it into
and
the
he's
back
out.
end. I believe he's dropped the front wheel. No, the back wheel's disappeared on him. He's demolished it in the green tyre barrier where he is. So that's unfortunate for him, for sure. He was he didn't post the fastest lap time. He probably would have been unhappy with that. But yes, you've got obviously the 3 different types of green. The grass you're going to want to stay off of. It's very unreliable, very bumpy, and it's going to send a lot of vibration through your arms, especially if you're using pulse feedback. The AstroTurf. So the AstroTurf is surprisingly quite grippy. I mean, look at places like Abu Dhabi, where a lot of drivers try to use as much of the AstroTurf as possible. It's very grip. It's got a lot of grip, and it doesn't really kill your tires as fast as grass or rumble strips would. And then obviously you've got the same material that the rumble strips are made out of, and that's what's slippy, especially when wet. But when it's dry, because of the lack of use it gets, it never really heats up that much, so you do tend to slip and slide on it a little bit more. I was literally practicing this track first thing this morning when I woke up, just to see, just to get a feel for what these guys are going through, and the amount of times I tapped the light green surface and just spun the car accidentally, it was almost unbearable.
Yes, I can definitely sympathise with you on that one. With the rumble strips and also just the AstroTurf being just genuinely very slippy, especially when you have those really cold tires. I've just watched St. Johnston go off at Scary, really messed that one up. He missed his braking point there. He is really, it wasn't Ascari, sorry, but he was coming through Lesmo 1 and just took it right off. I am assuming that he just lost his braking point coming down off that straightaway, and is now having to do that lap again. We actually have Kingly Diagram, who's now improved on his lap time. He's now 0.5 ahead now of AC Oakhill 04, who is still stuck on a 1:19.517 there. We'll hopefully see if we can have the other drivers in the last 6 minutes of quali now post some faster times.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this timing sheet here. I think it's six times within the 119 area, and then the rest are within the 120 to 121s. I mean, I can understand with some of the bottom teams that I'm looking at here. You've got the Alfa Romeos, you've got the Williams, you've got the Haas. Those are slow cars as standard, and I mean, some of these boys are really pushing to give their all to get these cars up onto the podium position, the pole position. I mean, I've just watched Lightshock draft a driver who is on their outlap to try and get this car to go at full potential, and past its full potential to the point where, I mean, he's doing it to Fairmoto. Oh, he's coming in. Okay.
Oh, so maybe he has found maybe that he needs a bit of a change to the car. Coming down here, we're gonna stay on board now with Kingly Diagram 18, who is gonna come round Parabolica now, it seems, and he is hopefully gonna show us how to do a lap of Monza now. Very nice and smooth coming around Parabolica now, coming down the straightaway, start finish straight down to Fosse. Seeing him now move the car very smoothly now. Very smooth car control there coming around those corners. Not much to really say other than he is absolutely giving it welly right now. He was using as much of that AstroTurf as he could get out of that racing point. The Pink Panther cars, as we used to call them. Really nice use there of the Ascari chicane. Really slingshot himself out of that one onto the back straight. Coming towards Parabolica now. He's going to have a very good run on to try and improve his time here. And a 1:18.802. What a fantastic time there. And just as we say that, AC Oakhill just pushing it a little bit more in a 1:19.332. So it is very close for second and third right now, but first seems almost unreachable.
Yeah, I think that's a salt in the wound kind of situation you've got going on there. Kingly definitely didn't need to go out and do that, but he has anyway, and he's probably solidified himself a pole position here for the race start anyway. Like I said, it's quite unusual to have a qualifying session in realistic performance. It was literally dropped upon us this afternoon that we were having a qualifying session, so I kind of got caught unaware by that. I had to make sure that I read it right in the Discord. But yeah, I mean, that's the potential of these racing points. I mean, you call them the Pink Panthers. We called them the Pink Mercedes or the Tracing Point. Because they are identical. They're like twins with different air dye. It's all they are.
Can we just say that they are the W10?
It was the W10, and you know, there's there's memes going around now with the W12 that's been announced and revealed, where the guys at Ineos are telling people, Toto Wolff not to sell the W11 design, and instead he's just going to sell the W12 design. However, I'm looking at some of these cars now, and I'm like, you're not going to look like that next year. It's literally a month, not even a month away.
Change, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to see pink on the grid. That's going to be snot green, some people are calling it. And I mean, that horse isn't going to be dark grey and black. Well, dark grey and white. Sorry, it's going to be more like a
Russian flag.
Well, we're calling it the Russian flag, yeah, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the Russian flag, just not portrayed as the Russian flag on the car, isn't it? I mean,
so there's talks as to why it's been done. I mean, I can't confirm anything, can't deny anything, can't say that it's, just rumours, because it is just rumours. But rumours are that the reason they've done it is because Mazepin isn't allowed to drive under the Russian flag this year, because of the Russian sports ban due to doping and stuff like that. So apparently what Haas have done is run it by the FIA, said, look, are we allowed to put the Russian flag on our car? They've said, well, don't make it too obvious. They've gone, well, we're an American company. We're an American racing team. Our colours are red, white and blue. The Russian colours are red, white and blue, so if we just mysteriously put it in the exact same way the Russians have got it on their flag, on our front wing, we'll get away with it. And they've got away with it. They have very much got away with it.
It does show you, and I think as well, the Aston Martin livery as well, also, I'm not going to lie, I do kind of like the colour scheme, but I'm not sure if the pink on the front goes. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm not a designer myself, but I do feel that the colour scheme is just a little bit muddled up this year.
It is, and I'm on board with the Josh 32, and I don't know if he's just put himself into fuel conservation mode, because he's just invalidated his lap time, and he's going to want to get one that's a bit faster than 1:21.2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Obviously, with 18 seconds left, he has done his outlap, and this is supposed to be a flying lap by the looks of it, so we'll see as he comes down here.
Coming down, I'm watching Mr. Don Crouch in 9th position right now, see if he can improve on his lap time. I don't think he's going to get another lap in if he doesn't, and he's just missed out on that, but he's still sitting in 9th position, so he didn't really gain much there from that actual lap, but there is nothing really separating 6th and 10th there. There is about 300ths of a second in it, so it's generally nothing, and it's fantastic to watch these cars now coming down through turn 1, and yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that everybody has actually managed to put a valid lap time in, even if there was a little bit of an incident down at the first 10 minutes of 10 minutes of practice remaining or so with Stallion, which is quite honestly a shame. I was hoping to see him a little bit more in that papaya McLaren coming down. We are watching the Tifosi car, BMG Sully, who's just about to finish his lap now. He's coming down the back straight towards Parabolica now. Number 38 looking to really improve his lap time here, and he has slowed down, so he obviously knows that he's not going to get any better than what he's got. So that is quite honestly a shame from his part, but we will see if we can jump on board with anybody else who is finishing their lap.
I think BMG Sully is the last, and he's just gone into the pits, so I believe, unless James F1 is doing a lap as well.
Looks like they are just all about to come round, but he's lost his front wing! Where did he lose his front wing?
I'm not sure why he was even trying to finish a lap on that. I'd save the tyres.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to manage it. I mean, he's not in the top 10 anyway, so he won't have to start on the used rubber, which is a good thing, but that front wing, I don't know where it came off. That might be something to save for interviews later if he manages to get into the top 3.
For sure. I mean, I watched these boys last week. They're all pretty rapid. I mean, you can see some drivers in a lot slower cars take some decent positions here. Light Shock is definitely going to have a fight on his hands with that Williams, because let's be honest, Claire hired the wrong man for the job.
Oh, that is the sad truth, isn't it, my friend?
Yeah, she hired the wrong man for the job, and it's not paid off. The Josh in the Haas invalidated his lap time twice, so he wasn't able to post a faster lap time. But I'll give a quick run through whilst I'm here. So from first to last, Kingly Diagram, ACO Kill, El Senado, Zach Tom, Raza, Sir Sharks, Jamie29X, St. Johnston, Don Crouchy, Fairmoto, and a few others that I didn't manage to get to. My apologies to all of you. I didn't realise how much time was left.
That's quite honestly all right, my friend. Now, just for a little bit of housekeeping, we've got the Invictus weekly schedule to go over. On Mondays at this time on a Monday, it is the PS F1 League with Gareth and Sab on YouTube. If you want to catch the PS F2 League on Tuesdays at this time, it is streamed by Malc and Nitrogash on YouTube as well. The Xbox F1 is also set on the Tuesdays at this time as well, streamed by Keiran and the one and only Dom, who I'm joined with today. If you want to catch the PS F3 and F4 leagues on the Wednesday, it's at 8 GMT. There is a slight touch change in the social media, so keep an eye out for that. For the PC side of things, on F1 on Wednesdays, it is 8 o'clock at the same time, streamed by JCol and Dan on YouTube. For the F2 League, we have same time on Wednesdays. There is no stream at the moment, but we've got to highlight it just for the F3 and the F4 side of things. And also, join us every Thursday for the Xbox Realistic Performance League, here by myself and hopefully Dom in the future.
Yeah,
Also,
it'll be one of those things we look
Thursdays,
into, for sure.
yeah.
I believe we have a PS
We've also,
as well.
oh, yeah, I was just about to say, we also have the PS Realistic Performance League, also on Thursdays, also streamed over on YouTube by Tim and Malc. So if you have any needs to go and watch them, feel free to go and have a look at them on any time you want. Now we're just waiting for the league to join back up again. We're just waiting for all the players to get ready.
Yeah, I was going to say, whilst we're in the interim here, sunny skies, as you guys can see, that is definitely what Monza looks like on a weekly basis when the F1 turns up. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a wet Monza. I might be wrong. I might have seen it at some point, but it's past my memory now. But I mean, yeah, it's going to be hot. The tires are going to wear off quickly. Tires are going to get heat quickly, so you're going to lose grip faster. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see boys complaining about their tires, and even the bottom 10 maybe, starting on the medium compound. Well, the bottom 9, sorry, because we've only got 19 drivers tonight. So I won't be surprised if you see those drivers starting on the medium tires just for that extra piece of grip.
That is exactly right, Dom. It's gonna be definitely a fight to see who is gonna keep their tires at the best stage, and to the point where it's not going to completely delaminate on them like we saw at the British Grand Prix in 2020, where Lewis Hamilton's tyre, front left, completely delaminated itself and split in half. So hopefully we don't see that today. I'm not too sure if that's going to be simulated in this game, but hopefully we're going to see all these cars lined up perfectly on the grid.
There you go. I don't know if you've got it on your screen, but the predicted pit stop strategy is a lap 10 to 12 for the soft to mediums, and lap 8 to 9 for the hards. But as everyone knows, this is Monza. Hard tyres are slow. Who wants to be slow? Not me, not them, not you guys. You definitely don't want to see anything going slow. So unless you lose your front wing on lap 1, stay off those hards, boys.
It's going to be a very, very warm race today, as you were saying there, Dom. I'm not too sure how long some of these drivers will be able to keep their softs going for. They're obviously really, really trying vigorously to make sure that they are warm enough for the start so that they can get a good jump on the pack leaders. I am on board right now with the person in 8th spot right now, St. Johnston 02, who is in the Renault, and he is going to be holding a really, really good position off the start. He has a chance to really pull in and get the drop on especially what is the other Renault of Jamie29X, especially when it comes down to who's got the faster deployment rate and if they're going to really push that ERS off the start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking at the board there, you've got Jamie29X in 7th and St Johnson 02 in 8th. That is both of the Renault drivers on the exact same grid line, and funnily enough, we had the same thing on Tuesday with the Renault team, who are flying away with the lead on the standings. But except they went on 7th and 8th, they were 1st and 2nd in the wet. So you basically had two
spun
really
out.
right ones. Oh,
it looks like it was Arctom 1002 who has spun out coming round Parabolica there. Lucky enough for him is he will get another chance to start.
yeah. Luckily it damages off on the formation lap. Always has been with F1 games because there are just too many drivers that bin it because the tyres are cold. So thankfully we've got that. If you were able to just throw us onto spectator menu, put the current fitted tyres and the full track map and the lap data, that would be great, please, pal.
Yep, we can do that. There we go. Ready for the start.
Yeah, so lap 10 off the softs to mediums, lap 9 to 12 for the softs to hards. Who's going to be on the hards? I do not know.
Lights out and away we go at the Monza Round 5 Grand Prix, and here we go down the start. It looks like the Mercedes of M. Watson is starting to push hard there. It looks like he has gained the lead up on turn 1. He is going to go over the bollards, but he's going to give the lead back to Kingly Diagram now, coming down towards the first part of the technical track.
My question of the day: we're on blue flags. Who, what, why? I know this game's a little bit broken.
Actually, it could have actually been Matt Watson, because I was thinking to myself, he wasn't up there. He was actually in first, so he must have not actually completed his lap to do the start. So that is maybe what has happened, or he could have actually done what is everyone loves, and that is a false start.
I am not quite sure, but we're about to find out. I've seen a blue flag off the start on a multiplayer lobby once before. That was a shocker of a race. The lobby had to be restarted because it bounced between blue flag and yellow flag, and it was basically just a rave on the flag boards and the steward's arms. But I'm watching ACO kill here, who I believe accidentally binned it in that car last Thursday, and required a brand new front wing whilst running away with the lead. So he threw away an opportunity for P1, I believe. So it'll be a fun one to watch him this evening.
It does look like actually that Kingly Diagram, looking at the board, has gone in for what could be considered maybe a new set of tyres. But I don't know if he's actually made a mistake or if there has been maybe just what was considered as just a simple mishap in the technology. Because it does seem that the lap time board is actually going all over the place right now, so I'm not going to actually go off that, because they're back in first, so we're just going to assume that nothing actually happened on track there, as we now go round the corners of watching Raza really taking Lesmo's quite difficultly there. Like, he really could have pushed it a little bit harder, but it does look like he is struggling a little bit for pace off that start with just soft. But that looks like Don Crouchy and M. Watson have actually been taken out of the race.
Yeah, M. Watson...
You got any more information on that?
I'm not sure. I genuinely am unsure on what's happened here. Because we've got a safety car, but I don't know where M. Watson came off at all. And also don't know what happened to Don Crouchy. But the Josh is pitted for hards.
Everybody is coming in now for a change of tyres, which is maybe a good idea for all the soft runners to do, to maybe swap maybe to either new softs or some mediums. But it does look like quite a lot of the pit stop runners are coming in at this moment in time, which is a good chance for everybody.
Yeah, we've seen a few. So we've just seen Roz at 410 go into a set of hards. Jamie 29X and Sir Sharks have both gone to a brand new set of mediums, and Zach Tom has taken the plunge to go on softs. So we've got soft, medium, medium, hard in that order from 14th to 17th. Like I said, I'm still not quite sure what happened to Don Crouchy. Obviously, I will try and get some information off of him momentarily.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, because I had not seen anything like that before. But they are moving very much at the same pace anyway, whether it be safety car or not. They are all glued to each other's wings. The only driver that I saw that was really making a move for it was Kingsley Diagram, and that's because he just had such a clean start, moving off the line.
Yeah, obviously I'm pretty sure at some point here we will get some kind of information as to what's gone on, from either a driver that's out or it's safety car now, so maybe even Moto himself. But I am just looking to see.
It was definitely something strange happened there that caused them to both go out. I mean, both of them have had what could be an incident, and it is very much quite a shame to see that, especially when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I just put it in the Discord now to see what's gone on. But whilst we wait for a reply there, and the safety car's out, let's talk incidents at this track. Obviously we saw a few on Tuesday, and I've not really seen much from the PS leagues, but apparently M Watson didn't get to start, so he didn't. It's not that he didn't finish; it's that the race didn't let him start.
Oh, so that's an automatic DNF then for him. That's very unfair. The game just dictated who was going to start the race and not there. So
yeah, that sounds
still under
very...
yellow flag conditions with safety car at the moment. It's I don't know how long it's going to take for the marshals to actually clear the incident between Don Crouchy's car there. I don't necessarily know where he's actually went off. So
yeah, I've had confirmation from Don Crouchy himself. He says, and I quote, "I crashed as usual. So much hate."
Well, it does happen, and I think everybody does learn from their incidents at some point in their life when it comes to playing F1 2020 especially. Just looking down the grid order now, we actually have had a little bit of a tyre change between 14th to 17th. They are now on fresh rubber, it seems, and they've decided that it's probably best to stay on some really fresh rubber for the lap. It does look like we have had a 3-second time penalty for BMG Sully and Jamie 29X. Maybe must be for taking the track limits just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I have one word for those guys. Well, not one word, but a piece of advice. You guys are in F1 cars, not rally cars. Try to keep it on the track, not off the track. We love you very much. Take care. Have some great racing. And the safety car is now in the pit lane. We're about to pass the start-finish line still. By the looks of it, everyone's going to get full throttle till the end. However, we have just lost Moto.
Moto has crashed, it seems. What's happened? It looks like he's still in the race, unless you were watching him. I have not seen any confirmation of him being out.
Yeah, he's not out. He's in the pit lane.
Okay, so he's went into the pit lane.
Yeah, he's just gone into the pit lane. However, he did hit the wall on the inside of the parabolic there. So he is getting a brand new front wing because he had no end plate or right hand side for that matter of his front wing. So he's now on a fresh set of yellows, and he's coming out way behind the pack.
Just watching the battle between first and second unfold right now. There's about half a second between both the pink racing points. It did look like El Senado actually had a really good run down on Kingsley on turn 1, but it did seem that Kingsley basically made his car extremely wide and planted it right on the apex, so it really slowed down El Senado, and it was really good. It looks like we have a VSC as St. Johnston is now out of the race.
Yeah.
Don't know what's happened there.
So he lost it out of. Yep, there you go. An FFS in chat, in the drivers room. Obviously, I'm not allowed to say that. What that is due to PG guidelines. However, I'm pretty sure you adults out there know exactly what that means. So he's lost exactly where Fairmotor was now and just hit the wall, I believe, and he's killed the car. Happens a lot. It's the tempo of speed. You want to keep it as fast as possible. You don't really want to be set behind the safety car. As soon as the safety car just come in, getting those tires back up to pristine racing temps is almost impossible.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's very difficult to also keep what is considered the heat on the tires and stop them from wearing, especially in these safety car periods moving so slowly. It does look like Kingly Diagram is getting a drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. That is going to change the race massively for him, as he has been leading this race religiously from the start. What do you think that's going to mean for him, Dom?
Oh, no. Yes, but no to everyone that now has to drive him. What? How do you do that? He's. I guess it's easy.
It's very difficult.
I guess it's very easy to do it. I personally haven't done it in any of my racing history at all. But I mean, that's now going to put him at a very big disadvantage. He's going to use those softs now to try and just gain that advantage on the back markers. Not the back markers, but guys behind him, as per se, to try and gain that advantage. Because to drive through around this, I mean, the average pit stop time is what, 21 seconds? So take away the, say, 2.6 seconds, so it's about 19, take away the extra 1.5, so that's 3. So you're looking at about 15 seconds, 15 to 16 seconds.
We've had an automatic disconnect for BMG Sully, who was actually running up in 9th place, but it does look like his game has decided to give up the ghost, and now his ghost is driving through other people. So that's very much quite a shame for him. Hopefully he manages to reconnect so he can get back in the car, but he is just losing place after losing place in green flag running.
I'm going to see if I can get him back into the game right now, for some reason.
Just watching the midfield battle, it's very close between 8th and 10th at the moment, as Actom is going to make a run on Botched Gerbil. It does seem like he is just trying to stay in slipstream. You can see that Gerbil is really trying to hold his ERS, but Actom really pushing on the brakes. And in saying that, Kingly Diagram setting the fastest lap of the race on a 1:23. Very strong from him. It does look like Actom is going to push down on the Tifosi straight now. He is on the outside, so he does have the advantage when it comes to closing the gap. He is going to close the door now. There's going to be nothing that Gerbil can do to do the switch back on T1.
Yeah, just like to point out now that if Kingly Diagram does not pit this lap, that that drive-through penalty is, I believe, going to result in an automatic disqualification. Because if I'm not mistaken, you have to save it within the first 3 seconds, the first 3 laps after being awarded it. So
yes, I do believe that's actually the rule. So it will be nice to see a little bit of a change up on the grid and see if El Sonado, on one of his good days of racing, hopefully continue to hold what would be considered a Racing Point dominant race. Just still watching on this middle pack now, as that's actually another 3-second time penalty there for Stallion W7, who had an accident in quali earlier. He is getting a 3-second time penalty. Still watching this midfield. It does actually seem that Gerbil has lost his tyre life in his mediums. Either that or he's really struggling with some damage. Jamie, 29 now, catching him. He's losing position after position every lap now. Jamie is really pushing him. They both have DRS, but it's not going to be enough. Jamie's going to hold onto the inside line coming in here. He's just going to have the perfect now. Very good driving, good placement of the car there by Jamie just to stop gerbil from coming back at him. We're going to go back up to the front of the field now, towards James F1, and just continue watching in the other Alfa Romeo, who's now sitting in 4th position, really putting pressure on DJ Danny, who is in the Williams. We already know that DJ Danny is a very fast guy, given the right car, so this will be something of a thing. I just watched Stallion W7 nearly lose it coming out of Lesmo 2 there. That was a very close one. He is now being chased down by IRL Matt in the Ferrari. Very close racing between the mid-pack at the moment. Any updates from me, Dom?
Not that I can see. I mean, Kingly Diagram's really trying to give it its everything. I mean, he's dropped down a few positions. He's on 8 lap old soft, so I mean, within the next 3 laps, he's going to be wanting to make that pit stop. However, he is really pushing for position again now. So, I mean, I'm guessing the bottom of those tyres, he's starting to push. Give him everything he's got. I mean, they're 9 laps old now. And you're probably looking at about... It says they're 9 laps old because that's how many laps he's done. But due to, I'd say, the way he's driving to gain those positions back, they're more like 10, maybe 11 and a half laps old.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what he does on this lap with those tyres, because once it says, like I said, once it says that they're 9 laps old, or they're 6 laps old, or they're 5 laps old, that's how many laps that the driver has officially done on them. That doesn't mean that's how many laps are actually on them, in a way, how many miles are on them.
Tyres,
yeah. Because, I mean, you can wheel spin, and you can wheel spin
That's
almost
had
49.
We've had another update from Race Control there, another 3-second time penalty awarded there, I think it was.
Oh, that's another
to El Senado, who is actually pushing for position right now, and a yellow flag.
Jamie
as
29X is out.
29X drops it, coming out of what seems to be Lesmo 2. If I'm going to go down, just watch now, that is El Senado going into the pits now. It looks like he is going to take his pit stop. Yeah, it does look like he's going to take his pit stop now. AC Oakhill now in the lead in the Mercedes. He is miles ahead of DJ Danny, who is in 2nd place at this moment in time.
I have just been given confirmation that Kingly Diagram 18's pit window has just officially opened.
Okay, so El Senado is now changed to his medium set of tyres. It does look like he might try and push to the end of the race on some mediums. He could have the running here on everybody else, but AC Oakhill really struggling through Lesmos. I wonder if he's really struggling with the soft tyres at this moment in time. We're on board with him now in the TV pod. It does seem like he is trying to take these corners just a little bit more cautiously now, as he doesn't want to lose the tyres. It does look like he is leaning on them quite a lot going through Ascari there, so he is just trying to conserve whatever rubber is left on the top now.
Yeah, very smart move there as well, by the way, by El Senado. Taking that pit stop when he did means that he can not only undercut the rest of the pack, but he can also undercut his teammate, who unfortunately does have to pit, which means he would have been in the pit stops twice this race under full speed racing, once for a fresh set of tyres, and the other for, well, now he's coming in for those fresh set of tyres, but the other one would have been for that drive-through.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He has really been in the wars this race. I think it's maybe just because the pressure was getting to him, especially under that safety car with all the cars bunched up again. And also El Senado putting so much pressure on him on T1 pretty much every lap that they were doing. It did seem that he was giving a little bit more into those tyres than what should have been put in through the kinetic side. So actually on board now with the last of the rear runners, Fairmoto, who's had a fair race of obviously having that early accident around about lap 6, lap 7, taking out his front wing. He is now 12 seconds behind the other cars now. He is really gaining some time, but will it be enough to get him into the points? That is the question.
Yes, I was about to bring that up actually. Every racer in realistic performance gains points no matter what position they finish. Reason being is because you obviously get some of the slower drivers who don't want to be missing out on points because, you know, you've got people like DJ Danny and Light Shock, who I know is a really fast driver. If I'm not mistaken, he was the European karting champion last year before. So he's pretty rapid in himself. So, you know, you've got those really, really hard-hitting forces there. So, you know, it gives an incentive to just finish the race.
Yeah.
Rather than just, you know, oh, I can't win, I can't get points, spin it in the corner, 10 people finish, race continues, season continues, people drop out. There's always the chance to win the league, or win this season, sorry, on just picking up small points, because if the faster drivers do crash out because they're trying to force something on a faster driver than them, or a slower driver than them, but, you know, relative in speed quite closely, you know, if those two bin it, and they're not picking up points, and you're just picking up small points here, 5 there, 5 there, 9 there, you know, that's...
Yellow flag running sector 2.
I think that might have just been a slow overtake, maybe?
It could have actually been, yeah, there is very, very strong racing right going on. Stallion W7 getting a second time penalty, 3-second time penalty there. That's a 2 to his name now. Very, very rough on him. He is running in 3rd position, so the pressure of Sir Sharksy on him is just a little too much. That is now Raza in the other Papaya McLaren up in 5th position now, going round Parabolica, taking it in round IRL Matt, who's now going into the pit lane.
Yeah, I think you'll see a few drivers start looking at the pits very shortly. Probably in the next 3 to 4 laps, and Kingly Diagram just managed to keep it. I did watch that 3-second time penalty. I can understand if he asks to get that removed, because that wasn't intentional. He did lose the back into the car. It didn't quite look like traffic limits to me, but we'll see.
Well, he did actually just set the fastest lap, even though he did cause that, so he might not get that removed just because he did set a fastest lap by losing it. It seems, but we'll see what the stewards say maybe after the race, whether it's going to be discussed now or not.
Yeah,
just
we'll
following
find out
on now,
the
battle.
About a week in about a day.
Battle
Sorry
in
about
the
that.
midfield. Yeah, definitely. There's quite a bit of a battle going on just at the front of the field, coming down as well in the midfield as well, between AC Oakhill and Actom, who just came out of the pits just a few laps ago. Well, actually, Actom just coming out of the pits this lap. All drivers kind of in the midfield actually having penalties to their names, so it would be interesting to see how many more get racked up towards the end of the race, don't you think, Dom?
Yeah, so a battle you've just missed as well. Kingly Diagram has just overtaken Zach Tom, and there isn't really much difference in the tyres, about a lap or so. Yeah, this is starting to get really interesting. People are starting to really look to dart towards the pits. He's just posted another fastest lap time again as well. 1:22.314.
Yeah.
That's pretty rapid for race pace. I mean, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see the, you know, the 119s, the 118s that we were seeing in qualifying. But that's because you've got a restricted fuel mixture setting and a restricted
Also, a lot more
overtake
weight in the
setting
car
as
as well.
Yeah, also you're only going out
It
on
does
what's
seem-
enough for just the one lap. The whole
Yeah.
the whole thing of, oh, we're popping out, we're doing one lap, we're coming back in, we can use the last lap as low fuel mode. I mean, you can get 100 miles an hour out of low fuel mode, so you're only going out on about 3 laps with fuel, about 10 kilos maybe at most, and you're giving it everything for 2 laps just to get the just get the heat in the tires, and then just to push yourself fastest lap. But I mean, a 122 is pretty rapid, and we are picking up time penalties here. Like you're picking up a deck of cards after someone says, want to play 52 card pickup?
Yeah, I would agree with you. That is, was it the Josh 32 picking up another 3-second time penalty to his name as well. It's very much quite a shame for him. He is running on the hards. He had a very, very good start to the race. Just on board now, we've got Sir Sharks running into 2nd position down on turn 1. Nothing that DJ Danny could do to defend. He couldn't even plant his car to defend at all. Sir Sharks was just coming too quick. So that is now the order of James F1 in first, second place we have Sir Shark, and DJ Danny in third at this moment in time.
Yeah, there are a collective of 30 seconds worth of time penalty stretched out here.
We've had a bit of contact. Raza just bashed into the back of DJ Danny. Luckily enough, there is no visible damage to any of the cars, but that could have ended very badly. Raza just losing it going in.
Yeah. I know the pace of both these drivers, so I'm going to keep an eye on lap delta here between the two to see how much changes, because you might not be able to see it, but there's if you what's known as exhaust pipe someone, which is what Danny has just done, where you sort of hit them in the back end of the car with your front end, you can chip the front wing, and that starts to deal some significant downforce changes, and that can really hinder speed.
Raza's going to actually have him on here going down the main straight anyway, but he has died into the pits just for some safety.
I think that's...
He is going to be changing tyres.
Yeah, he'll be looking for the softs now. 10 laps on the softs isn't too much. It's also not too little, and I mean he's coming out at a decent spot. So James, Danny, Light Shock, IRL Mats, and Stallion, I believe, are all on very, very close, fresh new softs as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the grid here.
Yes, definitely. I'm on board now with the 8th runner, Arctom 1802. He is holding very, very good pace right now on these brand new, fresh mediums coming round Lesmo 1. Very, very strong part of the track for him. He does seem to really, really excel in it. Raza now getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that's him also doubling on his time penalties now.
Yeah,
it does make you wonder where they are going off, if they're going off at Ascari, or are they really extending the track on T1, or where they're actually like losing.
It's I believe it's the chicanes, where everyone's just bunched up now, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with corner names on this track, my apologies. But obviously that's a very, very fast sector of the track, just that little bit there. So everyone tries to take it as straight as possible, as fast as possible, and it means they overrun the curbs. Stallion personal 1:22.080. That's a really fast lap, and I'm not surprised on a fresh set of softs. So keep an eye.
Yeah, he's obviously warmed them up perfectly now. We can see the mid pack now running on these soft set of tires. The only driver having the longest set of time on his tires right now on the soft is IRL Mats, but we do know how successful he has been in the past, but when it comes to driving these cars, he is very, very good at carving the track, especially when it comes down to the wire. Just watching on board now with what seems to be the Red Bull of Actom. He is just pushing it a little bit more, trying to get that gap down to Kingley, who's now sitting up in 5th position after being dropped all the way down. AC Oakhill now being handed a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings of track extension. So he is also now going to be struggling to even hold on to a podium here, as it does seem that Sir Sharks has now pulled into the pits to swap out his 14-lap-old mediums. So he is going to be swapping out those tyres now to a soft set.
Yeah, and due to where the pit box is for the AlphaTauri, it did end up racking up to 15 laps on those mediums. So, congratulations to him. That's not an easy feat.
That is fantastic, especially given how much pressure was put on him during the mid of the race. But it was good that he did go in when he did. He really did make good use of that safety car. Now on board with the leader, who is Raza 410 on 15-lap old hards. He is just going to try and make it to the end of this race. We're going to see them fall off in the next 5 to 6 laps. Now he's going to be dragging the rims across the line, it does seem. But he is about 5 seconds ahead of second place, who is El Senado, who has been really, really strong throughout this race. Very, very fast as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna tip my hat here to Raza, who I believe thinks he can take this this set of hards
We
to
have a
the
yellow
end.
flag in Sector 3. I do believe that could have been just a slow car, but I doubt it.
I think it's just a glitch in the system. In all honesty, I
Yeah.
didn't see anything wrong there. It
I
was
didn't either,
just
so
as
that
the
must have just been what happened.
yeah, but no, I'm gonna tip my hat to Raza, who's done 16 laps on those hards. It's nowhere near as many in comparison to what Shark's done on those mediums, but if he can take these to the end and defend Kingly Diagram, who is, might I add,
Chasing him.
yeah, after having done a pit stop for tyres and a pit stop due to his drive-through, I mean, if he can defend for the last 7 laps here, I think we might have to find something, you know, a new nickname for Raza. Maybe
Yeah.
I can't
Rizzle
think of
Razzle.
one. Something, I'm not sure, but he's gonna have to have some kind of nickname. I would just like to turn your attention quickly, before we go much further, to the fact that we have Austria next week, the Red Bull Ring.
That's going to be a fun track to watch. Does look like the Stallion W07 actually just did clip track limits there again, so he could be in for another one if he does it again, coming out of a Scary. We've got another yellow flag in Sector 3. I am not sure what's actually going on with the system right now.
No, that's ACO Hill. He's spun the car. I can't see if he's got tyre damage. But he is very, very slow, and he's about to cause an incident if he's not careful. He does not have wing damage by the looks of it, but he did spin it. Sharks has just posted 121.857.
That's a very, very fast lap.
Yeah, that
especially
is fast
for
lap.
him being so high up. Now he is still in the top 10, surprisingly, after that pit stop where everybody was really close together. So he really made use of those hard tires at the start.
Yeah, and DJ Danny's just fighting with Lightshock here, who has just picked up a penalty. It hasn't given it to me on race control, but the two Williams cars are really giving it everything. And
I just watched DJ Danny extend the track again, coming on the first part of the technical track there, going round onto Lesmo 1, but Lightshock is being chased down right now very closely by Sir Sharks.
yeah, DJ Danny and Lightshock, not teammates, but they are teammates. So they're teammates in the Williams car. Sorry, not the McLaren. The McLaren is orange. This is white. There is a big difference in those colours. What am I on? So those two teammates in the Williams, but Danny is a Hotshot Racing team member, and Lightshock is an Only Fools and Horsepower team member. So it'll be interesting to see as to whether or not these two are going to give it everything, and maybe cause a little bit of a collision just to get just to sort of help their teammates out who are slightly a bit further forward, I believe. We have Don Crouchy, who would be Lightshock's teammate, and he is no longer in the race, so it will be. I'm just running through here quickly.
Oh, there we go. That's the lead. The second place lap just being given to Kingly Diagram after El Senado just made a massive mistake, but Fermoto being given a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings of track extension as well. Just as we say that, but Kingly been chasing down El Senado since the start after he had those incidents, and it does look like on the DRS zone that El Senado is going to try and have another go at him, but it's not enough. Kingly very strong through a Scary there, really, really very careful through that part of the track, not really extending the track too much as well, but again, whether El Senado has enough on him now to be able to pull a little bit of a gain coming onto the Tifosi straight, it's going to be very, very, very close coming down. He will have DRS, it seems.
Yeah, El Senado's got DRS.
He does have DRS. He is now following Kingly, but it's not going to be enough. But it will be good enough to just hold on just for a little bit more as Kingly Diagram locks up. He will be ripping those mediums to shreds the more he does that, causing some flat spots to the tyres. Raza now also being caught up after those 19 lap mediums as we hards as we talked about earlier are starting to fade off. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to maintain pace now, don't you think, Dom?
Yeah. 19 lap old hards at the front. I mean, he's holding off well. I mean, he's kept that gap about the four. But, you know, he's probably. I'd say he's only lost about a third of 3/10 per lap since everyone started pitting, which is, you know, is a pretty decent. You know, is a pretty decent feat for someone who's on the long hard tire, which is a lot slower. But no, I will be very, very, very proud of Raza 410 for finishing this race. If he manages to on those hards, I'm just going to take an onboard with him quickly, just to see if I can see.
It does seem that Kingsley is really pushing now. He is really, really taking the time down on Raza, so you can see the difference it really makes to have fresh and old tyres. Not necessarily saying that Kingsley's tyres are the freshest, but they are definitely fresher than those hards.
Yeah, so I'm just about to say Sir Sharks has just overtaken James F1 and Zach Tom. What a double overtake that was. He's also
some absolutely fantastic racing here in the middle of the pack between 6th and 9th, all very close, about 2 seconds in them right now, going down to the first part of the technical track towards Lesmo 1, as IRL Matt sets the fastest lap of 1:21.8. Very, very close, but it's going to be very much a DRS train if they get past Lesmo 2 here, and they're just going to push just a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm on board with Raza 410. I'm looking at his tyres. You can see the cord for sure. They're dead. I don't think they'll explode. There's a chance of a puncture, but I don't think they will. Not until the last lap. I reckon maybe the last corner.
Kingsley is going to take him here, coming down the Tifosi straight onto lap 25. But
he has the chance to
an
defend.
Absolutely fantastic feat to hold back such an aggressive driver of Kingsley diagram there. Very, very good work.
I'm very surprised that he didn't defend that. Obviously, the FIA rules and regulations state that you're allowed to make one defensive maneuver per straight, right? He didn't make that defensive maneuver.
Yeah, it was very strange to not see him move over. Maybe he just conceded the place knowing that he couldn't fight the speed that Kingsley was coming at him. It's going to be very, very much a shame now as El Senado is going to take him on this next lap, hopefully. As you can see, he is just gaining time. But you can also see as well that El Senado is starting to struggle in these medium tyres. He's getting a little bit of oversteer. I don't know if it's maybe just him, but DJ Danny getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well. But as you can see, coming down into Ascari, Raza pushing to the outside, he just knows that El Senado's there and just gives him the place. Which is, you know, something that is fair enough racing. He knows he cannot defend that, which is very much quite a shame from him. But he has got quite a lead on his McLaren so-called teammate here, Stallion W7, who is about 7 seconds behind. So if he can hold that for the next 2 laps, he should, in theory, be able to take the podium.
Yeah, funnily enough, it's not just his car teammate. Stallion W7 is also his actual team as well. I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, they're part of the W7 team. So those aren't just.
We've got a very, very defensive move there from James F1 on Actom, but it's going to be James F1 that's going to come out on turn 1 just there. Very, very good car placement coming onto T1. Actom just couldn't do enough to get round him. Very, very good placement, just parked it on the apex.
Yeah, I've got one rule when it comes to the first and second corner of this track. If you're going to try and take that turn, you get literally
Actom losing it. He nearly lost it there. DJ Danny getting past him now. He really, really messed up the first part of the track.
No.
We've got a sector 2
Oh
incident.
no!
What's happened?
Oh no! So I've just been on board. Raz's rear left tire has just exploded on him.
Oh, what? I just saw the debris on the track. That is such a shame for him. He's going to have to come in for a fresh change.
No, he's out.
Look at, oh,
he's out. It's blown to the point where he has to be able to take the corner. And I don't think...
Oh, no.
We're not going to finish under the safety car. They're just going to leave the car where it is.
That is a shame. That is just such a shame. Definitely on this part of the track especially. I'm going to go back on board now with Sir Sharks, who is pretty much clear of anyone behind him on this final lap. Probably going to hop on board with the leader coming into this final lap. Nothing that El Sonedo could do to get Kingley here. It's just going to be set on time penalties here to see who gets what. Coming into Lesmo 1, it is still Kingley Diagram who is holding the car just together by a string. Very, very good on the corners.
Yeah, I just had a confirmation from Raza. It was risky. He was trying something that wasn't possible. And I mean, as a wise man once said, there's no such thing as impossible.
I agree with you there. He definitely stretched those hard tires for their lifespan and some there. 3-second time penalty for botched gerbil on multiple warnings, and Actom, who had a bit of a slip up there on lap 26. But we are going to take Kingley Diagram into the flag here. What a fantastic crafted race by him. He has really, really done well to hold on to that after having some really, really tough beginnings there. But he has taken the win. Very, very well done to Kingley Diagram. Very, very well done. On second place, we have El Sonedo. And in third place, we have Stallion W7.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of these are now going to come in. So Sharks taken third place on my screen. And obviously, everyone is now finishing.
Oh yeah, that is because of time penalties. So that is such a shame there for Stallion. But at the end of the day, his teammate definitely did try the impossible there. So it's a shame that he's going to make a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, congratulations to everyone who's raced this race tonight, and congratulations to getting your places. Unfortunately, I think we can all come to the agreement that Raza 410 deserved that P3.
He definitely did.
Unfortunately, he didn't get it.
Shame.
Yeah, but I mean that is hats off to you, sir. That was not an easy task that you set yourself, and
it was fantastic.
But it was great to watch. It was great to watch, right?
I'm going to leave you for 2 seconds, Dom, if you don't mind. If you want to go and grab the first, second, and third, if you can, for interviews, I'm just going to go and quickly nip and grab something, as I do believe my dinner is ready. So I will be back in 2 seconds.
Not a problem, my friend. So guys, that's the end of Monza. Great race, everyone. Great race. As you can see, the 2 racing points and an AlphaTauri up on the top step, one of which should have been a McLaren. Even if you say that Raza didn't finish, should have been Stallion. However, time penalties put him back into P4. I am now going to run you quickly through the leaderboard. Very, very momentarily. I'm going to obviously get everyone involved in the post-race party. But whilst we're getting these guys, that's alright, my friend. Whilst we're getting these guys in, I'll give you a quick rundown of the finishing positions. If you guys join in, could you make sure your mics are included so we can just make sure your mics are included so we can hear you on stream. So Kingley Diagram P1, El Sonedo P2, then P3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got Sir Shark, Stallion, James, Danny, and Lightshock. Then from P8 to P14, you've got Botch, Jibble, Zach, Tom, the Josh, AC Oakkill, IRL Matt, Spheremoto, BMG Sully, and a few other drivers, which unfortunately everyone decided to leave the lobby before I could get them all down. But I believe we've got everyone in from the...
I do believe so, and that... I do say, I think we've got 2 of them. I mean, it's Sir Sharks and Kingley. We don't have El Sonedo yet, but we can always catch him at the end if he wants an interview. Okay, so let's just start quickly with the leader and the winner of the round 5 of the Xbox RP League, and that is Kingsley. How are you doing, my friend? That was a fantastic race you did there. Tell us how it went from your end.
I think I had a decent start. Then, of course, the safety car. My tires were very cold and I had some wheel spin, so I think I hit my teammate. Um, but we both could race and so then after VSC I got a drive-through penalty for driving too fast, and I thought that killed my race. But my pace after that was amazing, and I could overtake my teammate, and I'm really happy with this one.
Yeah, I mean, from our end, I mean, we thought that your race was over. We didn't count you out though, as we knew that you had really, really good raw pace around Monza, especially in that racing point. You were very, very strong, and well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations, Kingsley. Before we move on, or if before you ask your next question, obviously you had a lot of great pace today. You managed to come back from almost unspeakable depths from the back of the grid with that drive-through penalty. Are you slightly worried that the league admins are going to put you in a slower car, maybe the Alpha, the Alfa Romeo or the Williams next race in Austria due to your performance here tonight?
No, because that's completely like I was in this league in the AlphaTauri at first, but my wheel broke, so I had bad results. And then I was able to go in the racing point at the right moment in Monza. And I think I will be back in the slower car next week.
Yeah,
That
obviously.
does seem like a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really, really good racecraft. Well done.
Thanks.
Now we're moving on to P2 of El Senedo. How do you think your race went, my friend? It definitely looked very, very strong from our side of things. We could just see that you guys were just pushing each other on and on and on, and it really, really did show as to be some of the best racing that we have seen in this championship so far. So, very well done to you. I don't know if Dom has any questions for you.
Yeah. So a better result from Tuesday night for sure. I mean, you're going to be proud of this result. You're going to have a bit of a buzz going into next week. Every driver does. I didn't know myself. Um, Obviously, that buzz, is that going to get the better end of you coming into Austria next week? Yeah, definitely. So on to Austria. As I was saying, are you sort of very aware of the track? You know your limits. You know the track's limits. You know the car's limits. How do you feel on Austria? All right, thank you very much for stopping by. Congratulations on your P2 Alcedo, and hope to see some great results from you again next week. Oh,
Now we're moving on to Sir Sharks. Now I'm not going to lie to you, my friend. That was some really, really strong racing you put in, especially when it came down to the wire. How do you think it went from your end?
Yeah, so coming into the race, I didn't really expect higher than where I started on the grid, P7, P6 maybe. And yeah, just one of the best races I've ever done. Just gave it everything, kept it clean every single lap, no penalties, looked after the tyres, looked after the ERS, and got for the traffic, just waited, just being patient, wait for the right moment to not lose race time, and obviously pitting twice as well. It was a real good fun out there.
It looked absolutely amazing, especially from the commentators box. It looked just awesome to see you guys battle out, especially with Raza and his late calamities. I mean, it looked very, very close down to the wire. So definitely well done.
Yeah, cheers.
To follow on from that, obviously you've got P3. Us in the commentary box, we were very, very much. I'm not going to say biased, but we were very much hoping that Raza got that P3 based on the fact that he'd done so many laps on the hards. It was almost the impossible made possible with him. We worried for any part of that you weren't going to get that position and you were going to be stuck a bit further down, just off the podium, just out of the top end of the points.
Yeah, I mean, championship-wise, I needed a result to start pulling me up to the top three, top four, and yeah, I pit when Raza did, and we just went on to different strategies, and yeah, I just had to keep trying to give it everything. I know I could see the P3 and P4 had pens, so just had to hope I could keep closing that gap, keep closing, and then I knew the hards would be a struggle to go to the end, so I was hoping that strategy wouldn't work out, but yeah, luckily it went that way.
Yeah, obviously.
It definitely was.
Obviously, I was on board with him when it happened. I could see someone gaining the position on him, and I looked back and I watched that back tyre go and send him into the barrier. Obviously, the last thing you want for someone is to not finish because of an error with the car.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're all going to sit here and you know, tip our hats off to him and say congratulations and unlucky, sir. But are you feeling better now that he had that accident and you got his position?
No, I mean, whether I'd finished, if he hadn't that accident, didn't have that accident, and I finished P4, I'd have been absolutely buzzing with that, because I said I didn't expect in the AlphaTauri to go much further up the grid. But obviously that was the other strategy I had, and when the safety car came out, I was having discussions with my teammate on what to do, what strategy do I do, medium to pit again onto softs, or do I just go hard to the end? So obviously for me, with that happening, I know I made the right choice on that strategy. So that's a good call for me and my teammate on getting that. But yeah, wouldn't want him to go out like that. But P3, P4, I'm happy I got it.
Yeah, congratulations, and like you said, you're moving up the leaderboard now, up the standings.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can do something very similar, if not the same or better, in Austria next week.
We can hope.
Now, thank you for stopping by, and I will leave it with you, Andrew, to close off the show.
Excellent. Thank you very much for everybody who tuned in tonight. Just a little bit of housekeeping again, just to tell everybody when we are live again on Monday at 8 o'clock. It is the PS F1 League, streamed by Gareth and Sab on YouTube. So make sure to tune in then for your daily dose of racing action. We are IRL Racing, coming at you live on Twitch. I have been Andrew, and that has been Dom. Thank you very much for everybody joining in today, and we hope to see you guys again next week.